Hello, everyone. The book we're going to be talking about today is the English language debut. And man, it is a real creeper. You're going to be amazed at this book. I know I was. It certainly wasn't what I was expecting, but it was much better. And we're going to talk about all that. But first, I want to mention that my book of short horror stories, The Things That Happen at Night, is available exclusively at the link in the description. It's only $3. If you pick it up, I hope you enjoy it. Now let's get on with the video. All right, so the book we're going to be talking about today is called Jawbone by Monica Ojeda. This is her English language debut, translated from Ecuadorian. She is from Ecuador, and that's where the book takes place. And this book really creeped me out for several reasons. Reason number one, there's really no protagonist in this book. Everybody is just kind of creepy and weird and awful to each other and to other people. And you would think a book with a plot like this, and basically a high school English teacher, a female English teacher, kidnaps one of her students, takes her to a remote house, chains her up in the basement for reasons we do not know at the beginning. And you would think right then that there is definitely the, who's the good guy and who's the bad guy in that situation. But this book is different because it's really hard to tell, because once we start seeing all these characters, hearing their thoughts, seeing how they go about their lives, we realize that they're all pretty kind of bad people in a way. But this book deals with so many female-centric issues, and I thought it was fantastic, by the way. There's a group of girls, like 6 girls, in a private Catholic school in Ecuador. They're kind of wealthy. They come from wealthy families. And they are a group to be feared. Like they are really close and really tight, especially 2 of them who are almost like sisters. And they meet in an old abandoned building where they dare each other to do things. They have these rituals, kind of, they perform. They make up their own god called the White God, who starts out as a figment of the imagination, but then through their collective consciousness kind of becomes real. And as their dares to each other become more elaborate and more dangerous, not only to them, but to other people, we see them kind of tipping over from being just kind of innocent fun into more devious territory, shall we say. And it's pretty frightening, some of the things they do and try to get away with. But they are young. They are coming up to that age from young girls into women. They're coming up on that puberty stage, and all the things that brings to girls in that age. And their teacher, although seemingly normal on the outside, she has to put a great deal of effort into maintaining that facade, because she is not as sane or as grounded in reality as she appears to be. Actually, quite the opposite. And when one of their pranks involves the teacher, she loses it, and that's why she kidnaps this student, believing that she is the one behind the prank that was pulled on her. I'm not going to give anything more away, because this is a book you have to read. And not only does it have that underlying themes of children, young girls growing up into womanhood, but there's also things about mothers and daughters, how amazing that bond is, and also how destructive that bond can be. It's about friendship between girls, and again, even though they might be like sisters, and it's a wonderful thing, once stuff starts going awry, that can change. And they can cause way more harm to each other than either of them even imagined. And there's just all these themes running throughout the book. But one thing about the book, not just the plot, but this is a beautifully written book. This is not a book you want to rush through. You want to take your time. You want to savor this book. That's how great the writing is. The way the author turns a phrase, the way she shows analogies, the way she compares different things that you wouldn't think to put together, is stunning, and it's beautiful, and it just adds to that creepy factor because you're reading something that at points seem almost like poetry, and yet when you realize what it actually means, it sends a chill down your spine. Because I don't think I've ever read a book quite that way before. It's very stunning, very beautiful, and it's one that you want to savor. You want to take your time. You want to see all the turns of these phrases and the way she words things that sometimes you might have to go back and read twice to get the full effect, but it's worth it, I promise. I did not mind taking my time with this book because it was that well written. And that kind of writing really moves along the prose, really moves along the narrative. As we flash back between, or as we go from the present day in the basement with these two, and we start to figure out the circumstances surrounding that and what's about to happen. And then we get inside all these characters and their mindset, what led up to this event, their different thinking on who was at fault, who was to blame. And we realize that not everything is as it seems, but like I said, it's really hard to pinpoint a good guy or a good woman in this scenario. And I really like that ambiguous, everybody's just crazy and let's see which crazy is gonna win at the end kind of vibe. I thought that fit the prose very well. I really, really love this book. It is fantastic. And I think you should definitely pick it up. And I will leave a link below to Amazon for you to do that. Get a copy. It's a no-brainer. Jawbone. Also down below, as I said, there's a link to my book of short horror stories, The Things That Happen at Night, if you want to purchase that. My Twitter and Instagram are down below. I'd love to have you on there if you're willing to have me. And as always, thank you for taking some of your time and spending it here with me. I really, really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.